episode 92.
Are you ready to take your eBay business to the next level? Then hold on, because Ron and Ali are going to take you into the fast lane with the latest tips and insights from some of the biggest and most successful sellers here on the So You Want to Sell on eBay podcast.
Welcome once again to another episode of So You Want to Sell on eBay. I'm Ron LeBeau.
And I'm Ali Young.
Hey, if you don't know the queen of auctions, Lynn Dralle, I don't know. You must not be around eBay too long. Hey, we have Lynn Dralle, the queen of auctions, on with us today. Lynn, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Brilliant.
Doing awesome here.
Your Majesty, welcome.
Thank you so much, Ali and Ron. It's
I am a humble servant to you, Your Majesty.
Yes.
I need one of those for sure.
It'd be great, wouldn't it, walking around with a crown on your head all day?
Yeah, it might hurt.
Well,
it might hurt.
listing on eBay. Here I am, listing on eBay with my crown.
We haven't
You
even
should
got
see
to
the front of my
guys.
office. The front of my office is all crowns, all across.
Excellent. Excellent.
It's
That's
all
awesome.
in my blue color, and I've got hands and a heart and a crown. And I actually had the Vice Squad come by one day, and they thought it was a massage parlor.
Oh, my goodness. You'll have to send us a
Let's
picture
shut
that
it
we'll put on
down.
our
Shut it
website.
down.
Actually, it wasn't the Vice Squad, but it was like someone from the city, and he came in, and I'm like, listen, here's my daughter. We're packing and shipping. He's like, I need to see what's in the back.
Yeah.
And he made me show him my warehouse.
Did he make you lie on the floor? Stay down.
Time out, everyone. Okay, we are 16 minutes into this thing, and we haven't even talked about the bio yet.
Oh, the bio.
Okay, maybe-
I'm so
I
sorry.
forgot about that part.
Okay, so let me tell people a little bit about Lynn so they have an idea of who Lynn is and what she's been up to for a while, okay?
Okay.
We cool with that?
No. We don't want to spoil the atmosphere.
Absolutely.
All right, okay. So for over 18 years, Lynn has made a living buying and selling on eBay. She is a third-generation antiques dealer with over 40 years' experience in the antiques business. She started helping her grandmother in the antique store, and it shows, when she was just 4 years old. She is also an eBay consultant, author, and teacher, and her learning tools and free easing will teach you how to sell online on eBay while staying organized, turning a profit, and having fun. She loves selling on eBay and can't stop. Some people think she's addicted. In fact, in 2015, she sold over $100,000 worth of unique items on eBay, and she wants to help you do the same.
So do you go like eBay Anonymous?
No, but I should probably be the one that
You
starts
should
it.
be like the founder of it. So you've got this serious addiction happening here. Tell us about. I mean, you started at 4 years old. That's amazing.
Well, no, I mean, I started in my grandma's antique shop at 4 years old. Actually, I was probably 2. She was having me polish silver and then going to antique shows. And I was so lucky to grow up in her store that she opened in 1950 before antiques and collectibles were even anything big. Do you know what I mean?
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, how do you, the thing that I've always wanted to know, and now I've got you on the thing, how do you know what something is antique? I mean, what do you judge it by? Is it like 100 years, that's antique? What's the level of judgment?
It used to be 100 years. That law was passed in 1967 to make anything 100 years old antique. But now we consider anything that's 50 years old antique. Since bringing items in from Canada, the antique year cutoff now is 50 years. And then when you think about vintage, when you look at computers, a computer from 10 years ago can be vintage.
So what's the difference between vintage and antique then? What's the difference?
I give vintage a range of like anywhere between 10 and like 30 to 40 years. And then anything over that, you can call it antique or vintage, your choice. It depends what it is. If it's like a blown glass cranberry vase, I'd probably say 50 to 100 years, at least 100 years to be antique. But like a computer, I sold a Mac, really cool space age computer for about $600. It was vintage.
Wow. So my gran's antique.
You're what?
My granny. She's antique, is she?
I'm actually antique.
I'm vintage myself.
Yeah, I'm still vintage, you know. I'm before vintage, but yeah.
Thank God, Ellie, someone on this call is vintage.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, that's really cool. And you know what? I guess when you were 4 years old, your grandmother, your mom, and yourself, none of you guys really understood what you were really looking into. And look what you've built. I mean, you've actually built this thing into like a small little empire you have there. I mean, everyone, seriously, anyone that knows anything about eBay and has kind of been around the eBay circles knows the name Lynn Dralle if they don't know you personally. And it's just kind of a neat. No, it's just kind of cool to see how, I know I saw you at Ecom Chicago, and, you did your speech, and it was just so amazing how you did your A to Z thing. And it was just really cool how you did that for everyone. And I know everyone got a really good education by that, and your videos and your books and things like that as well.
Thank you so much. And, it's really interesting because my grandma, when she started doing this back in the 50s, she was writing like she was writing a column on reproductions in the 50s and 60s for the National Antique Dealers Association, of which she was a founder. And she really could have been like the Covels, the Mormons, the people that wrote the actual price guides. But she never did that. And then when she was older and I was going through her stuff, she and I together found all these notes that she had written for classes she taught. She taught classes in the late 60s. Wow. And I was looking at these notes, and they're all typewritten, and I probably have like 300 pages of them. And that's what started the Antiques from A to Z, because I'm doing her writing for each letter. Like, for example, like A is Amberina and Aventurine and all this cool stuff. And then I write her notes, and then I put my spin on it in today's eBay. So it's just been fascinating. I feel like I'm writing this new book with my grandma.
That is really cool.
Nice.
So let me ask you this. So you're 4 years old. Now you become maybe a teenager. Was this ever boring to you? I mean, because I can't imagine myself, being in the antique shop and thinking this is really cool. But you probably did, didn't you?
I did. So I admit it.
You're a different kind of geek than me, man.
Well, we'll get to the Thanksgiving bit.
Technology.
Allie, what's interesting though is like I would go work for my grandma every day after school, and I'll tell you something. There's nothing I liked better than doing that, and I'd go to work on Saturdays with her too, because she was a hoot, man. That lady had more energy and was more entertaining than anybody I know, and I learned so much from her. And like, she'd do 18 antique shows a year up and down the coast from California to Washington State. And she'd be like, honey, I'd really like you to go help me. And I'd be like, God, Grandma, it's a homecoming dance this weekend. I really don't want to miss school. And I'd feel so bad that I would end up missing school and go help her. And we had so much fun. She'd give me $100 after the weekend and give me her Nordstrom's credit card, and I'd go buy clothes, and we were all good.
Brilliant.
Wow, that's priceless.
It is. It sounds fantastic. So do you ever run into any problems like on eBay with selling like antiques? Do you have to prove that it's an antique somehow?
Allie, a lot of times if you just say like, I believe this is antique, if I'm wrong, please tell me. Mm-hmm. And I do that. And I've been doing this my whole life, but I'll say it's got like a blown glass, it's got a polished pontal, or, there's acid etched on the stopper, which matches the acid etching on the inside of the neck of the decanter, which typically, signifies something that's high quality and probably handmade and antique. And then if someone disagrees, I'm happy to hear.
Yep.
That's really cool because, I mean, it's all about transparency. I mean, you're not trying to sell something that is not an antique. You're just saying, hey, here's the facts. And, we could talk about them if we need to. And if you know something more about it than I do, then I'll learn from that, and go from there.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's really cool.
And that's the beauty of eBay. If you guys look at some of my listings, I sell as the queen of auctions on eBay. I have 17,600 listings, fixed price and auction as well. But in a lot of my listing titles, also I will say help maker ? I don't know who made it. I don't know what it is. And I'm willing to learn from anybody that does. And especially if I price something at like $10,000 and ask for help, boy, do I get help fast.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I mean, if I'm scrolling through your store and I see something that, $14,000, you're going to catch my attention, right? I mean, it's going to grab my attention there, and I'm going to want to know more about that item.
You've got some, I look at your store here. I'm stalking you, and you've just got this bizarre, unbelievable stuff. I mean, how do you... where are you getting this from? I mean, is there like a weird shop down the road or something? But two, how do you know what anything is worth?
Allie, my warehouse is the weird shop.
You are the weird shop. Excellent.
Yeah,
nice.
Excellent. You know what? When my grandma passed away in 2000, I was running her antique store. I'd been running her antique store for about 10 years when she passed away. And it took us another 2 years to liquidate. She probably had over 1 million items in that antique store. Cool. That probably 80% of them had never seen the floor of the store because they were all in boxes and packed up. And I mean, if you want to talk about someone that was a collector, that was my grandma. She had boxes and boxes of African trade beads and snow babies and just amazing. Her collection was beyond astounding. So When she passed away, we took 2 years to close the store. And then my brother, my sister, my mom, and I, we all inherited what was left and we put it in boxes. So I bought my brother's boxes, and my mom's boxes. I think I probably still have 120 huge boxes that I haven't gone through yet.
Jeez.
Wow. Well, I guess the beautiful thing about antiques is they only increase in value, you know?
Ron, and that was one of my grandma's favorite sayings. She goes, you know what? She goes, our inventory only gets better. We're not a grocery store. We're not a clothing store. Our inventory gets better with age. Theirs gets worse.
Love it.
So not to say that you would, but, you know, the typical person that might be an antique seller, you know, if they procrastinate, it actually makes them more money.
Absolutely. No, it really can. But, you know, when I started selling on eBay in 1998, I could get like $1,000 for a chintz side pitcher, which is it's a very rare teapot that has a spout on the side. Today, that same chintz teapot sells for $200. Back in 1998, there wasn't the competition.
Mm-hmm. Right,
so
right.
Competition has driven prices down on some items, and on other items, it's driven them up. So you kind of have to follow the market and know what's going on. But I really need to get through those boxes because I'm thinking about moving back up to Bellingham and reopening my grandmother's antique store with an eBay division in the back, just like it was when in 1998, her antique store was still open. And we started out with eBay in the back of her antique store, and it worked out so well. Our business just went through the roof.
Wow.
No, that's really cool. So let's talk about your grandma's eBay store, man. I mean, I'm sorry, her antique store. What was the name of it by chance?
Cheryl Leaf Antiques. That's her name.
All right. And so she started this how long ago?
1950, out of her front living room.
I love it.
And if you go back to 1950, there weren't a lot of women working in that time frame, right? Much less owning their own business, much less owning their own store, much less being an authority on antiques. I mean, this woman sounds pretty amazing.
She was so inspirational. She really is the reason I do what I'm doing. And, you know, she actually started collecting antiques like in the 40s in the basement of her first one of her houses. And then they moved into this bigger house that was on the old highway. And to get a conditional use permit, she had to apply as Mrs. Elmer Leaf. She could not apply as a woman.
Oh, my word, man. That's
crazy.
Wow, that's pretty. It is. That's awesome. I mean,
so she got this conditional use permit, and the business just grew and grew and grew. It was crazy, and I'm just so proud of her and for what she accomplished.
Should be.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's amazing.
Ron and Ali will be right back after this short break.
Do you want to set yourself apart from other eBay sellers? Want to look like one of the big brands? How would you like to feel confident that you could do it yourself, but know that the support is there if you get stuck? Now you can create your branded eBay store and have your store doing more. With Auction Pro Template's premium do-it-yourself eBay template. This template is loaded with tools and features you won't find in any other system. Go to yourstoredoingmore.com now to see what's included. That's yourstoredoingmore.com.
Be sure to check out SoYouWannaSellOnEBay.com for the latest podcasts and all the information you need to get selling fast.
Let me shift topics here a sec, because I've actually just noticed in your store, and this is actually you're the first person on this show to have it, only because you're the queen of auctions, that you're actually using the sale discount thing. I don't see a lot of people using that, but explain what that is for people who are not sure what it is. You have an original price and then you have a sale of like 16% off and stuff.
Nobody uses it on the calls you do?
I haven't noticed anybody. I work for a client who actually has just started using it, and I'm actually being a bit self-centered here, and I want to know more about it.
Ali, I had a feeling about you. It's all.
Yeah.
Don't believe what they said, Lynn. It's not true.
It's
on the internet, Ali. It has to be true.
I can cut that part out. It's not live. But so how do you do this? Explain that system that you're using.
Okay.
For me.
So you guys, I have 10 rules. Like,
oh, wow.
For when I have 10 really serious rules for how and what you should do to be successful on eBay. And one of those rules is you have to consistently use Markdown Manager all the time. You have to be running Markdown Manager on a consistent basis. You have to always offer best off. You have to put a best offer on every single item. And you have to, another rule is you have to price super high.
Yeah, for a week. Is that right?
I'm sorry?
You have to do it for a week prior, don't you? And then you can bring the price down.
And another one of my rules is you always put it at auction first for a week, because you want to see, you don't want to leave money on the table. You could have something super rare that you would price at $200 fixed price, and it could be worth $1,000. So you always put it at auction first, and then you've got to use those markdown tools. And the higher you price it, the higher the perceived value. My grandma taught me that when I was growing up in the antique store. She's like, Lynn, we could price that $10, but you know what? If we price it $45 or $55, people will think it's a better item and it's higher quality.
And you know what? Here's a decent analogy to that. I kind of think this makes a little bit of sense. You know, if you go to the store and you see 3 pairs of, let's just say, tennis shoes, you see a pair that's $65, you see a pair that's $145, and you see a pair of $175. You automatically think that first pair, even if they're the exact same shoe, let's just say they're the exact same shoe, but because the price, you don't know what it is, but you're something in your head goes, those must be cheap. You know, and it could be the exact same shoe. And I think that's what you're talking about here, right?
Absolutely. And as an example, I sell a ton of coffee mugs, and I get an average selling price of about $28 for a used coffee mug. And people are like, how do you do that? And I'm like, because I priced it at $50, $40 to $50 used on eBay. Because if someone's looking for a coffee mug for a gift and they see mine that's $50 and someone else's that's like $6 with free shipping, who do they think is better?
Yeah.
Which coffee mug do they want to give as a gift?
Right.
That's very true. Yeah, it's exactly true. So with this markdown, back to what I want. No, with this markdown, I see you using another tool, because at the moment, eBay has all these new tools that I really feel like people aren't using to the full effect. And I notice that you're using everything, which is why you're... I will use... Absolutely.
And I'll tell you, I've had the best, last 3 or 4 months that I've had year to year in the past 5 or 6 years on eBay because of the new tools. Promoted listings. You've got to use promoted listings. That's where you can go in and pick a range, a percentage range, and on an item that has multiple quantity, like say example, I show 1 dinner plate, but I have 10 for sale. I can pick an ad fee. It's kind of like Google ad clicks. I can pick a fee and eBay will promote that listing and I'll pay that percentage. It's usually around 5 to 8%. But it will put mine up as a promoted listing when other people are searching. That is really important to use. And since I started using that in June, it's added about $4,200 to my sales.
So you're loving the ROI on that.
Yeah. And out of the $4,200, if you're an anchor store, you get a $25 credit each month towards the fees. And my fees have only been probably 8% of the 4,000, so 320. Less I've had 2 credits, 50. So I've only paid about $260, $70 for that added bump.
Gee, I mean, see, and you wouldn't think this. All these little extra toys just help, don't they? So it's really good to see you're thoroughly using them. They absolutely
help. And Allie, there's a third one, and it's called promotions. And I learned this from the business group that I worked with that were helping me increase my business. And the business group said, you've got to always use the promotions, because what I do right now is if you spend $50, you get an extra 10% off. And by doing this, when a buyer is looking at my listing, it won't take them away to other sellers' items. Like a lot of times when you look at a listing, it'll say other buyers looked at these items, and they'll show them right when you're looking at someone's item. But because I'm running the sale, it'll say, pick one of these things and spend up to 50 and get that extra 10%. So it directs them back to my inventory.
So this is 2 separate things then. You got the sale thing, which is the markdown manager, and then you got the promotions on top of that, yeah? Or are they connected?
It's 3 things. You've got markdown manager, which I'm consistently running on everything. Yep. You've got promotions, which is the spend $50, get 10% off. And then you've got the promoted listings. There are 3 different tools. Everyone should be utilizing them at all times.
Brilliant. I mean, that's exactly why we bring people like you on the show, because a lot of people don't know about this stuff. And then I notice you're using paid shipping. You don't do the free shipping, no?
Are you kidding? There's no such thing.
I know. Yeah, there's the illusion there is, though.
There's the illusion.
Well, there's an illusion, but the reality is if you start pricing for free shipping in the U.S., and let's say you have a dinner plate that's going to $16 to ship, and you were going to sell it for $20. Now your dinner plate is priced at $36 because you're not going to eat the shipping. And you know who you're cutting out? You're cutting out your international customer, who now has to not only pay for the plate, they have to pay the U.S. shipping plus the international shipping.
Yeah.
Do you use the global shipping?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
eBay.
I love your certitude. Absolutely
Yeah.
not. And then there's that pause. All righty.
There's no question
No.
mark there. I mean, she does not use global shipping, folks.
Global shipping. eBay can barely run eBay and continue to like make their customers, who are us, the sellers, happy. Why do they think that they can get into the shipping business?
There's dead silence. I don't know.
They can't.
Exactly.
They can't, Ron. And the couple of times that friends of mine have inadvertently used it, it's been a nightmare, a total nightmare. First of all, you got to pay to get it to Kansas. Then God only knows where it goes. And then your customer, the international customer, absolutely has to pay customs because eBay's adding that fee in when that person looks at it on the website. So how many times have you guys ordered something from Europe or maybe China or whatever, and it comes to your house and there's no customs charged? Probably 100%.
Yeah, I think so, right?
I've never paid customs on anything that's come from overseas. But if you, and this is what happens a lot of times, these people in other countries, in Europe and everything, they get lucky. They order something and they don't have to pay the customs. If you go through eBay charges those customs up front.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
So when that buyer is on eBay looking, and most buyers, smart buyers like me and other smart buyers, we search by price plus shipping. We don't search by just price. When you guys are searching to purchase, don't you sort by price plus shipping?
I do. Yes, I absolutely do every time.
So the free shipping just doesn't even matter. And then if you're using the global shipping program, when people search by price plus shipping, that totally knocks those things that already have the customs added in out of the park for those international buyers.
Jeez, man. Yeah, I got lost at the part about China, but yeah, it's breezy. All I can remember,
Yeah.
China. Yeah, I bought a pair of contact lenses from there once. That's where my brain goes. But no, this is phenomenal.
Well, okay, so Allie, did you pay duty when those contacts came?
I actually I couldn't get them in. I ordered 10 pairs, and the import tax wanted it. But that's got nothing to do with this. That's just they always want money here because I live in Asia.
Well, no, I mean, I'm very curious to hear it from someone that does live in another country, because my experience in the U.S. is we never pay customs, even though we're supposed to be paying it on something.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, I suppose it's all different. The part I want to get to, and the part this was talked about offline, was, what are you doing for Thanksgiving?
I'm listing.
I'm listening.
Yeah. So are you dedicated to eBay?
Okay, you guys. Okay, in my free time, like one of my favorite things to do, which is really sick and wrong, is to list on eBay. But there's nothing I like better than to like watch a movie and list on eBay, because it's totally mindless. And while I'm doing it, I'm making money, and I can watch a movie and list at the same time. It's not brain science.
No, but
That's awesome. You've got it down to an art for sure. I mean, absolutely.
But this is, for most people, this is the most boring part of it. The making money's great, maybe going out and sourcing it, but the listing, geez, I mean, that's pretty hardcore, isn't it?
No, it's so easy. I just do sell similar. And I always keep 100 things at auction. And tomorrow I'll probably list between 20 and 30 things. And for me, that's fun, because you start getting bids, you start getting this, you start getting that. And listing at auction is a must, because it drives traffic to your other fixed price listings. If people stop listing at auction, eBay puts you further down in best match. I don't know that for sure, but from doing this for years, I know that is true, because they don't want to promote something that people aren't continually changing their inventory and adding new things.
Yep.
So you're not just talking about antiques, though, right? I mean, you're saying that's your philosophy on selling on eBay in general, right? I mean, because like I said, we're talking mainly about antiques with you, but I'm seeing here you've got records, you've got other things. You don't have just antiques, and I guess that's your philosophy on just selling on eBay at all, right?
Yeah, I don't believe in a niche. I mean, I have specific niches that do very well for me. Dinnerware is my number one category on eBay, and dinnerware I will sell probably, maybe 40 to 50,000 a year in dinnerware. And then it's flatware, and then coffee mugs. Those are kind of really broad niches, but I will sell anything I can make money on. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's car parts. I don't care if it's a tire. I don't care if it's my son's old baseball cleats. I will sell anything. And my kids have really learned over the years that we don't buy new. We don't pay full price for anything. If they want something, they can find it on eBay. They'll find it in a thrift store. And we never pay full price. And once they've worn something, they give it to me and I sell it on eBay. We just keep recycling.
I just wonder if they each have their own little locker they keep under their bed of things that they don't want to be sold. I mean, hey, because in my house, when we lose something, we know it's lost. In your house, I'm just wondering, hey, Mom,
I don't ever sell anything until they give it to me. But it's really funny because when Indy was like, my daughter Indiana, when she was like 6, she left a Barbie in my office, and she was like, "Oh my God, Mom, I was so worried. I thought you were going to sell it on eBay."
I think you're selling its head, though. I'm looking here at a doll's head. Talk about, it's one of those spooky sort of ghost film doll-looking things. It's on your eBay stall, a doll head. I mean, who's going to buy a doll's head? I mean, seriously.
Hey, Allie, let me just tell you, I bought a case of those. Actually, probably about 6 huge boxes in Bellingham, Washington, and I just shipped them all loose, and probably 80% of them made it. And I probably sold 500 to 600 of those doll heads from between $10 and $25 each.
Gee, I mean, you didn't got a bold one. You got one with no hair at all. I mean, it's crazy stuff.
Okay, and then my daughter comes home and she's like, "Mom, I have to do a project. I have to show a brain." And I'm like, "I've got some doll heads at the office."
Your house must be so much fun, I'm telling you.
No. This is at my warehouse. So I brought home the basket of the doll heads I have left. She picked the perfect one. We put a brain on it. I've got to email you guys a picture of it. This thing was brilliant. She got the highest. She got the highest grade in the class, and the teacher goes, "Yours is the only one I'm keeping."
That's awesome.
It's time for a quick break, but the guys will be right back here on the So You Want to Sell on eBay podcast.
What's more exciting than starting your own eBay empire with one of Auction Pro Template's custom eBay store and listing template packages? How about saving yourself $200 when you do it? That's right. Right now, you can take advantage of starting your own totally custom eBay store for the insanely low price of $697 when you use promo code SAVE200 during checkout at auctionprotemplates.com. You still get all of the amazing features and benefits as before, like a custom designed eBay store and matching custom eBay listing design, video tutorials, software, custom branding, 1-year free hosting, and so much more. But now you get to save yourself $200 doing it. So celebrate the start of something awesome with $200 in savings when you order your very own custom eBay store and listing template package. Go to auctionprotemplates.com and check out all of the features and benefits of having a totally custom eBay store and use promo code SAVE200 today. Are you tired of stockouts? Are you done with overselling? Are you sick of wasting time with boring back-end tasks? If that's you, Ecom Dash is here to help. It's an inventory management and automation software system that helps your business run lean, reduce errors, and increase sales. Sync your inventory and sales data across channels, automatically forward sales to suppliers, and make your e-commerce business scalable. Visit ecomdash.com. That's ECOMDASH.com for a free trial and take 50% off your first month with promo code PODCAST.
We're back with more tips, insights, and interviews with Ron and Ali.
Not to change the subject a little bit here, but I see that you'd have a separate category called Indy's Fashion Finds. And I love the fact that you're incorporating your kids into this with you. I mean, because I would like to bring my kids up as entrepreneurs, not employees. I mean, because,
yes.
It's not to say they could never be employees, but I think it's easier once you grow up in an entrepreneurial world to be an employee than to be an employee all your life and wish you had been an entrepreneur, because it's harder to go the other way.
Hey, Ron, how old are your kids?
Well, I collect kids. I mean, you guys collect antiques. I've got a son, 27, a daughter, 21. I've got a 9-year-old son, a 7.5-year-old daughter, and a 5.5-year-old daughter.
Okay, A, you're crazy, and B, you do collect kids.
That's right.
Let me tell you something about Indy's Fashion Finds. She went to a sale in Washington. She spent about $5 and filled up like 5 grocery store bags full, and we sold everything. There's nothing left listed under Indy's Fashion Finds.
And all that does is it encourages her to know that, hey, this is really doable. I mean, seriously, that's really cool stuff.
And the kids are faster at listing than I am. She can list everything on her phone so fast. My son, he finished his freshman year at Pepperdine in May. And I said, honey, grab every textbook you can on campus. Those kids are not going to care about their textbook. He came home with a couple cases full. He listed them in a day, and they've been selling. I just sold one for $200, and I PayPal him the money. He's in Germany this year for college. So those books are slowly selling, and that cash that comes in, it goes right to him in Germany.
Unbelievable.
Very, very cool, man. And he's just sitting there cha-chinging it that's awesome, man. I'm just loving it.
That's
I know.
cool.
I'm like,
yeah, that's what I love about eBay, though, isn't it? I mean, that's what all those sort of dreams can come true. I mean, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
absolutely. And I told him this year, he gets back from his year in Germany in April. I go, we're taking my SUV and probably another SUV down to Pepperdine, and we're taking everything that those kids, everything they leave behind, because you've got these really rich kids coming in that don't care. They don't take it home with them.
That's right. That's awesome. And, you've got resources because, if his friend Bob knows Dave and Mary, I mean, it's just an endless supply there, I think.
And it's free.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So he's very motivated about textbooks now, because I'm like, just ask all your friends for their used textbooks. It's huge business.
Yeah, he's going to start a warehouse.
We'll take these books off your hands. We'll figure something out.
Don't worry, we'll throw them away for you.
Yeah, exactly. Then at the 5-year reunion, he shows up in a Lamborghini, based on the book.
How do you make us so rich?
Books.
I was doing good books. So before we run out of time here, we got like a couple minutes left. I just want to know your process from start to finish. So you start, you go out. I mean, you're probably not going out so much these days. You've managed to got a massive supply of vintage. But what's your process from putting it on eBay to getting it out the door every day?
Okay, Ellie. I do go out pretty much every weekend, and I have made really good friends with the estate sale dealers that run the sales here in the Valley, so I get to go in first. And I always make it a point to spend at least $100 so I get invited back before any other dealer in the Valley. And I'll spend $500 to $1,000 and just stock up on really high-end quality stuff. I get so excited to get new stuff. That's why I haven't gone through my grandma's boxes, because the new stuff is the fun stuff.
Right.
And I'll bring it into my office. I invented a system for keeping track of your items. It's an iSell book, and they're paper sheets. And these paper sheets, I invented them back in 1998. And since then, I have only changed 2 things on it. I added PayPal to the backside for a payment plan, and how they paid, and I put a ruler on the front. But I write these up like really quick, like I'm looking at one right now, and then I can list from home. So I'll write like 1 dinner knife, 2 dinner knife, 3 dinner knives, and I'll put the iSell sheet with each item. I'll weigh it. I don't weigh silverware, but I'll put the shelf number, where it's going to go on the sheet. I go through the sheets and take the pictures so that they're all in order. I get back home. I have my daughter. She just cropped and saved all the pictures I took today at the office. And I will sit down after I talk to you guys, and I'll just do sell similar, and I'll blow through that stack of sheets. And the sheets are wonderful, because then when the things either sell or don't sell on eBay, if they sell, the sheet goes in a pile of things to be pulled. It's got the shelf number on it. You put the buyer's name on it. Then it follows that item back to the shipping table. You pack the item. You've got the buyer's name. You write the name on the box. You put the weight on the sheet. And then all those sheets go back to my desk to get labels made. The system is just fantastic. And it's allowed me to keep track of 17,000 different things. And then, for example, when things don't sell, I can write on them. I always raise the price. That's another one of my 10 rules. Always raise the price after auction. So I usually double the price actually after auction. It just depends what it is and what I feel like. And like growing up and helping my grandma, I'd be like, Grandma, where'd you get that price? Like, where'd you come up with that? She goes, PFA. And I'm like, what does that mean? She's like, pulled from air. So it's not pulled from ass. But
Oh my God.
So on these sheets, I'll write the high price I want it. I'll give them all to my assistant Maureen, who you met, Ron, Mo.
Oh, yeah, Mo.
Oh,
She's
thanks,
awesome.
you're Joe LeBeau.
Yeah, I know. And to her, I'll always be, I guess.
So Mo works from home, and so she works as a consultant type assistant for me. So she'll come by the office, pick up a stack of 200 or 300 of those sheets. She'll take them home. She'll get them all listed in the store at fixed price. She'll list stuff for me. I mean, it just is a really great system so that you can work from anywhere you are. In fact, I used to sit at baseball games watching my son play baseball and be listing on eBay.
That's amazing. I
love it.
It's crazy. That's awesome.
I mean,
love it.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Yeah. It's so inspirational. I mean, I'm so glad we got you on here. We've been trying to get you on here for a while. We weren't worthy enough prior, but now we are worthy enough.
I didn't know you. You guys were just some random people emailing
some weirdos.
Well,
Some
in
really
fairness
weirdos.
to Lynn, I think we had like 3 episodes out when I emailed her or something like that. It was just something like that. It was
they were
crazy.
the embarrassing episodes as well. You know, the first 20 or something, me and Ron, we just can't go back and listen. We cringe.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's funny because one of the times you emailed me like the second time, and I sent it to my brother, and I go, "Should I do this?" And he goes, "Why not? It can't hurt."
Do you know what? I'm actually glad you're doing it now because it's a lot more thorough now. It's a lot more flowy now. So brilliant. We're going to have to get you back on. We've sort of run out of time here. I mean, you're so easy to talk to. And your expertise, the tools you're using, the queenness is awesome. I mean, thanks so much for coming, Lynn. We really, really have enjoyed having you on the show today.
Thanks, you guys. It was great being here, and I'd be happy to come back. And I want to get a link to this so I can put it in my next newsletter.
And we want some of the doll
definitely
heads.
do that.
Okay.
We want some pictures, evidence of these creepy-looking things.
Yeah.
I got to send you the picture of my daughter's her psychology brain project. You will really crack
That's the
up.
one we want. Yes.
We'll put it on our Facebook page or
We'll
something.
Photoshop
Okay,
out the blood and stuff, you know. We'll make it a little bit more tamer. So, but no, brilliant. Thanks for joining us, Lynn. It's been fantastic. We'll post all the notes from today's interview on our show notes page, which can be found at www.soyouwannasellonebay.com/show notes. I should really learn to breathe while saying the name's so long sometimes and it's hard to breathe, you know. Before you go, Lynn, that's my troubles. But before you go, how can people get in contact with you? What's the best way they can
Hey,
reach
you guys, go to my website, thequeenofauctions.com, and please sign up for my free newsletter. I've got one coming out tomorrow for Thanksgiving. And if you're not signed up, you got to sign up.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
That's excellent. And happy Thanksgiving to you and your listings.
Happy Thanksgiving to you both and all your children that you collect, Ron.
They will never be listed, I promise you.
Yeah, yet. Everything's a yet on this show.
You need to get them listing and let them keep, like I tell my son, I take 20% for PayPal and eBay fees. You get everything else.
Oh, wow.
Well, here's what I'll tell you real quickly before we go. I have a saying in my home that nobody eats for free, right? And so my 9-year-old is my operations manager, right? And I've got a desk out there. I'm not kidding you. I've got a desk and a computer for him, and I'm teaching him Excel, very basic Excel stuff. And I've got a spreadsheet that he's going to start. Trust me, they are growing up into an entrepreneurial world.
Nothing better.
That's brilliant.
Absolutely nothing better.
And if nothing else, you can make it into a sweatshop.
No, but I mean,
Not even
I got to grow up with my grandma. That's why I'm doing what I do.
Yep, that's exactly it. So it's all inspirational, isn't it? Seeing the parents and stuff. So, well, thanks once again for joining us, Lynn. It's been fantastic. From everyone here at So You Want to Sell on eBay, I'm Ali Young.
And I'm Ron LeBeau.
That's all for this episode of So You Want to Sell on eBay. Be sure to check out our next episode or any past episodes by going online to soyouwannasellonebay.com. Also, be sure to follow us on your favorite social media sites, facebook.com/So You Want to Sell on eBay, and Twitter at Your eBay Podcast. Thanks for listening. And until next time, happy selling.
Have an idea for a topic or know someone who would like to be on the show? Let us know. Just go to www.soyouwannasellonebay.com/interview. We look forward to hearing from you. This podcast was produced in part by Pro VoiceWorks.